Welcome back, chums. My name is LastKnownMeal, and today we're gonna be talking about Cyberpunk 2077 Update 2.1, which is now available for PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. This is going to be my full review of the update, showcasing all of the biggest new features and changes presented. An update so far on GOG and Steam is about 37 to 40 gigs, so it's going to take a while until you get all of it, but to be honest, after experiencing update 2.1, I can definitely say that this is just a cherry on the top. The update itself is amazing, and I'm gonna talk about all of those features right now. And the first thing we're going to talk about is the NCART metro system, which has 19 metro stations on 5 different lines. So there are two possibilities you can go through here. You can either fast travel or ride the train itself. So once you download the update and log into the game, there is going to be like maybe an hour or two has to pass before you get a message telling you that your card is basically back for NCART system, and there is going to be an animation where V is going to actually look at the metro pass. But honestly, going through the metro stations themselves, it was amazing. Now do keep in mind, on the map itself there are some new things being added, like you're going to see the entrances to the metro and you're going to see where they lead. So once you approach a metro station, there is going to be an actual a quick loading screen, so you're not going to be actually waiting for the train, you're going to spawn, or well, the animation is going to start within the train itself. And depending on the train itself, obviously from cart to cart, from line to line, you're going to meet different people, and actually the situation of NPCs and where you sit is going to be different. But overall, the feeling of just riding throughout Night City looking out is amazing, and this feature is definitely something which I'm glad it's been added, especially because they have a full system for this, so just adding this extra thing is very nice. Now I know some people are disappointed that you actually don't wait for the train to arrive and so on, but even just having this, because they found a solution to do it, basically with the last update, is very nice. Of course, if you want to exit from the train itself, you can just press F and V is going to stand up and you're gonna be exiting at the next available station. Next thing I have to talk about is definitely Radioport. So Radioport is a new portable radio where basically you can listen to music while you are out from your vehicle and just out and about. I like the feature a lot because there is constantly some soundtrack playing in the background, like the radio with different music, and it was kind of fun for exploring the city itself. You can also listen to the radio stations in the metro while you're riding, and also once you enter the car, the transition itself is going to be seamless. There is just going to be like a slight buzzing static sound and the song is going to continue, but do keep in mind that when you go to a certain quest objective or you're doing a gig and there is supposed to be some different music playing, the actual portable radio is going to go silent and then go back once the actual gig is finished. You can change radio stations and increase and decrease the volume of the actual thing itself. So if you hold the Z or Y button, it's going to go up, but if you press it, it's going to turn it off and on. I do like the feature a lot, it's definitely needed, and during the fights and everything else, it's just amazing to listen to radio and just not worry about anything else. Next thing, let's talk about the Porsche 911 Cabriolet. So this is a new vehicle added into the game, and to get it you have to go to your apartment or well go to the Auto Fixer and you have to buy it there. And once you go to the Auto Fixer website, you can find the Porsche 911 itself and buy it for 73,000 eddies. Now do keep in mind that I might have some discount here, or this might be the full price, I honestly have no idea. But once you buy this, there is going to be a certain gig you have to finish, so it's not going to be just to get the car and it's going to be in your garage. There is going to be a little gig you will have to do to make it work, and I'm not going to spoil much, but it's fast and there is something really cool happening and you get to meet someone very interesting. Now besides that, we have 5 new bikes which you can also buy from the Auto Fixer website. The first one is the Nazare Racer, very cool thing. It's actually 37,000 eddies if it's 50% off, so just keep that in mind that I do have discounts from like car boosting missions and so on. The actual tracker is nice because the color is very cool. Then we also have Kusanagi Peacekeeper, which is kind of a bluish almost police variant in a sense, at least has those symbols on it, and the coloration itself. They're very fast overall, and I do like how it looks. And the price for Kusanagi Peacekeeper is 37,000 eddies for 50% off. Next up we have Brennan Apollo 650S. Great bike, actually, looks very nice, and the design itself is cool. I mean, the sound is some of the best ones I've heard when it comes to bikes, so definitely recommend this one. It's not as fast as, for example, Nazare Racer, but it also comes at a lower price of just 18,000 if you have 50% off. Then we also have Kusanagi Akashita, which cost 36,000 for 50% off, and the bike actually looks very nice. The coloration is kind of a bluish, reddish, purplish thing, but again, if you can combine it, especially with the outfits, it can look very nice. And last but not the least is the Nazare Cobalt. It's going to cost you 34,000 for 50% off, and it looks really nice, especially the front, and during the night these lights shine very brightly and go like from the eyes, which make it very cool in that sense if you want that sort of a vehicle. But overall, I do think that new bikes are very nice, and with the new driving system, it's better than ever to just go around Night City on a bike, and we're gonna talk about that new driving system for the bikes very soon. So when it comes to driving bikes, right now they have changed a lot. They have added wheelies, you can do an endo if you're, for example, braking and holding the shift button on your keyboard, or you're pressing like control button if you want to do a wheelie. It's nice. When it comes to just driving around, I noticed that driving bikes right now is a bit more difficult, especially when it comes to, you know, going left and right, especially even if you want to lean on that side, it's still a bit more difficult to drive around, but it is more responsive and better overall. It might take you a bit to get used to it because the actual center of gravity and mass has been changed, so now different bikes are gonna be behaving in different ways. Even if you want to do a wheelie, like the physics are gonna be doing its thing, and if the tire just cannot go that way, you're going to kind of crash. So from that sense, overall, I do like how it performs. I haven't tested every single bike in the game, but most of them right now, especially with the wheelies and tricks you can do, are a lot more stable, and once you, again, as I said, get used to this new driving mechanics for bikes, I think you will definitely enjoy it. Next up we have racing. So once you finish the gig The Beast in Me, Jim Jerry is going to call you and tell you that there's gonna be new races available throughout Night City. And once you arrive to the one, you're gonna have to pay a certain amount of eddies. For example, for the Santo Domingo one, it is 2,000 eddies, but the final reward is going to be, I believe, 10,000. Now, when it comes to racing in Cyberpunk, I told you a long time ago that it wasn't good, especially like when the game released. The racing experience wasn't enjoyable because enemies were constantly respawning, they didn't know how to drive, it wasn't that good. I'm gonna be honest, the new AI, the improved racing AI they have for this game right now after update 2.1 is much better. Now, of course, one of the things which I noticed is that because, well, you are allowed to use weapons, they can pretty much go over you pretty fast, so just be careful which car you're picking because they're gonna be shooting you heavily. But I noticed that they don't crash too much, they still kind of crash in some areas, and for example, if they are supposed to go right, they will just kind of continue forward. It's not going to be like the instant right, you know, going to the right side, but at least when it comes to respawning them, they're not respawning anymore to the point where it punishes you. They are a lot more aggressive, and honestly, like for the first race you're seeing right now, I was kind of having some issues. Like I was really trying to be the first place. At the end I did, but for a few times I noticed that AI behind me was really driving good and trying to overtake me. Of course, you can still kind of glitch out the cars behind you if, for example, you kind of hit them on the side, they might kind of flip over and that's it, but it's a much more enjoyable experience, and I do believe for people who are just getting into this game and doing like the Beast in Me gig for the first time in racing, they're going to have a much more enjoyable experience than people who played it prior to the update 2.1 or basically 2.0. And in the end, if you win, you basically take out some money, and you also take out the discount for the auto fixer once you finish the race. If you lose, well, of course, you know what happens, you lose the eddies and you have to go again, but these races are repeatable, so you can do them as much as you want. Next up, we're gonna be talking about a new feature which basically allows for your romantic partners, depending on who you were seducing in the game, to come to your house. So basically, once that whole romance gigs are over, they're going to call you. In my example, it was Panam telling me like, what's happening, what are you doing? She's going to send you a message, and you can tell her to basically arrive into any single apartment you own. So that can be Mega Building, the Glen apartment. She can even visit you in Dogtown. That was cool. So I told her to go to the actual Mega Building, and you have to go and wait, and she's going to enter the room itself. Once that happens, you can cuddle with her, you can dance around, you can look through the window and do, well, some other things as well. But if you want to exit, you know, after the date is over, you can just leave the apartment, and there is going to be an option telling like Panam or anyone else like, I'm going to see you later. And to be honest, this was really cool. I mean, having this option just makes the world and makes characters that we know more alive, because it places them in this universe. They are living in it, they are going from one side to another, they are visiting different people, and that's what I like. I don't like when you have an NPC and that NPC is just in one location and you have no connection to it whatsoever. So having this ability is very nice, and I'm glad that this is finally added. Now we do also have the new road, which was actually leading from kind of the outer side of the eastern part of the city, and you had this huge highway which was basically going within the city. It wasn't used that much prior to the update 2.1, and if you're being chased by the cops, if you go to this location, well, they kind of stop going after you because AI didn't know that it was supposed to go there. Now this highway has been opened, they added a lot more details to it, and of course it has traffic, and of course police can follow you there if you basically have any wanted levels. Now supposedly there are going to be some new events where, for example, Trauma Team crashes there and there is a fight going on. At least that's something we saw from the trailer. I'm gonna be honest, I was waiting there for quite some time, skipping time even, but the event didn't happen. If I do get the event, I will of course share it in one of my next videos. But basically, yeah, now you can use this new highway, or well, this new part of the road to go from one side of Night City to another, and it's going to be finally detailed. When it comes to cyberware, we have also seen two new cyberware options. The first one is going to be FEEN-X, a new cyberware which basically has 250% RAM regen rate when available RAM is below 7. So this is on the tier 5 quality. It's very good if you are intelligence attuned, because it gives you 0.1% damage reduction per attribute point, and current total is 2% for me. It also gives you by default 32 armor, and you can upgrade this to a tier 5 plus and plus plus. And the second cyberware which is added is an integumentary system. It's called Cogito Lattice. Now this gives you 240% armor from this cyberware when available RAM is below 10. And also, if you are intelligence attuned, it's going to give you 2+ armor per attribute. The current total is 40. This is very good, especially, again, as I said, if you're playing a more net running build, especially an assault net running build, definitely get this. And of course, as everything else, it can be upgraded to tier 5 plus and tier 5 plus plus. And besides that, it gives you 3+1 health, 2.5% melee damage resistance, and 1.6% health item effect. And also 54 armor on the base tier 5 edition. CDPR also added a lot more new accessibility options in the accessibility tab, like bigger fonts, removing some of the effects from the screen. So if you want to check it out, definitely do, because right now I think people who maybe lacked some of the options from Cyberpunk so far, definitely there is a lot more which you can check out and kind of fine-tune for yourself. I am definitely glad this is added, because again, you have visually impaired people, you have people with motion sickness, so just having these extra options they can use and play around with so they can get a better gaming experience, for me is a huge plus, so definitely check it out. Now when it comes to sounds, they have really done a lot, like they said in the patch notes. The overall sounds have been revisited again and they sound very good, like the quality, the crispness of the sound is very good. When it comes to double jump, I'm not sure if I'm honestly tripping or if this was before, but I just didn't notice. The actual sound Cyberware makes is different, just here. Maybe I was wrong with this, maybe this was present before, but I honestly have no idea, but so far it looks nice. And also for the end, they have added new viewpoints to look at a city from afar. I'm gonna be honest, like I went to the damn one and I started looking at the city. The city looks fine, I mean I don't have a problem with it, but the actual like NPCs and well models they're using to render like traffic in the background, like if you're watching for something far away, they're using these like almost low poly 2D models, which when you're looking from the actual like viewpoint or well from this thing, you can see it a lot. So yeah, maybe that thing wasn't like the best when it comes to this. CDPR also added Dualsense controller support for Cyberpunk 2077 on PC. So if you have a PlayStation 5 controller, you can experience all of the features from like adaptive triggers and everything else which is present on PlayStation 5. But there are some bugs with it. So what the official CD Projekt Red support Twitter just said now and also yesterday is that if you have any issues with it, especially on Steam, you can go to Steam settings, then controller, and set PlayStation controller support as not enabled. Setting it on enabled or enabled in games with or without support will currently result in Dualsense features not working and may also cause freezes after connecting the controller while game is running, so just keep that in mind. And also one more thing, if you're using a controller, dead zone settings have been updated in the 2.1 update to be more precise and allow better control over cursor sensitivity. As a result, you might experience some stick drift on controllers. In that case, please change your inner dead zone settings then controls to a new default value. PlayStation 5 is 0.15, Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S is 0.35, and PC or Steam Deck is 0.35. One more feature which they added in photo mode is right now if you are on a bike and you have your weapon or katana out and you go into photo mode, it's finally going to be present, so it's not going to disappear as after update 2.0. I'm glad that this is added because now photo mode and especially what people can do with different images they take is going to look well a lot different, and it makes sense they added this. Now there is also one more feature which CD Projekt Red added in update 2.1, and that's that gangs are going to now go after you if you shoot up their territory or their place. But the problem is, as soon as I logged into my save, I was getting drive-by after drive-by after drive-by because the game, I guess, realized everything that I've done to them in the past. So it just kinda probably went just send after all of the units that he has wronged, so I was getting attacked by every single booster gang in the city. Now that was happening for half an hour after I logged in, and after that it kinda died down, but I do seem that everyone who is kind of an endgame character, and if you did a lot of harm in the city to different gangs, well, once you log in, expect some trouble. And to be honest, this was an amazing update. Now tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we're gonna be going after all of the cyberware and weapons which have been changed, because there is so much that I try to fit in this video, but I realized that it's going to be just too big and it's not going to be that interesting because I go through a lot of numbers in my other video when it comes to weapons and cyberware and so on, because there are a lot of things which were changed. But overall, I love this. I love what they did in update 2.1. I cannot wait to experience this a lot more. And to be honest, this is an amazing send-off to the game and also Red Engine itself. Right now, they're gonna be focusing on the next Witcher game and, well, the new Cyberpunk game, which they're still very much far away. But if this is how they're gonna be handling their games from now on, showing us that everything which happened on the release, they went through it and they redesigned the entire game from the ground up, and now they're enjoying the success. This is definitely worth it, and I'm very much looking forward to the next Cyberpunk game and to the new Witcher game. And this is everything for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to tell me down below what is your favorite new feature. Maybe if you're having some issues, just let me know down below. Also check us out on Twitter and Discord, and huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more, as I said, and that's pretty much it, chooms. I'm gonna see you in the new video. Bye bye.